If you play Rocket League, you know that the game has a lot of toxic players. And if you don't play Rocket League, what are you doing here? I can't tell you how many times I've whiffed the ball, resulting in my opponent scoring, only to see the horrifying quick chat, "What a save," sometimes even from my own teammates. So I thought, what if I made a video purposely being toxic even if there's no reason for it? But that also got me thinking, what if I did the complete opposite? There's this growing theory in the Rocket League community that if you're super toxic, it'll only make your teammates play worse. But if you're nice and take the blame for everything, your teammates will actually play better. So I wanted to put this theory to the test. I'm going to play 6 games of Rocket League. In the first 3 games, I'm going to be as toxic as possible. I'm going to what a save every chance I get, tell the other team they're trash, and tell them to forfeit the match. In the final 3 games, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to be overly nice and optimistic, even when there's no chance left at winning the game. I'll even compliment my opponents. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. First up, the toxic games. So for the first game of the 3 toxic games that I played, I tried to be as toxic as possible. I would have saved every time a goal was made, and I also threw in a little extra. But I ultimately got no response from both my teammate and the opponents, even at the end when I told them to go back to Fortnite. On top of this no verbal response, I didn't see much change in how my teammate was doing throughout the match either. It was difficult to be toxic to him because he actually played pretty well. I couldn't really find much to complain about. So in the next 2 games, I took it up a notch. In game 2, I started it off with a good game forfeit, being super toxic right off the bat. I still said what a save, and if I got scored on, well, I blamed it on luck. After a couple of times getting scored on, I blamed the whole potential loss on my teammate. At the end of this game, we ended up losing, and my opponents felt very good about their victory. But I was still a sore loser. And I got no response. Game 3 was where I got the best results out of the toxic games. When I started off the match with a good game forfeit, I actually got a response. Wow. Unfortunately, this game didn't go too well for me, and everyone was eager to point it out, as well as make fun of me for some of the things that I said earlier in the game. We ended up losing, and my teammate actually did most of the work, but I still blamed it on him because, well, it can't be my fault, right? At the end of the game, my teammate made another goal, and I said, "Maybe you should have focused on the ball." Well, maybe if I wasn't so focused on being toxic, we could have won. After the game, I still decided to tell them to go back to Fortnite, and all 3 of them clapped back at me. All in all, I lost 2 toxic games and won only 1 of them. Now comes the games where I become overly nice. And this is where things took an unexpected turn. Now, the first nice game was exactly like the first toxic game. Nobody seemed to care that I was being super nice. After all this niceness I spread, I got no response other than some quick chats and a GG at the end. Although we did win the game, it didn't seem like my niceness really had anything to do with it. Game 2, I got a little bit more of a response. But honestly, I kind of want to skip over this one as quickly as possible because Game 3 is where it really gets interesting. To sum up Game 2, we lost. And I tried my hardest to pump up my teammate, as well as take the full blame, but he didn't seem to improve much throughout the game. To be fair, we did lose in overtime because of my mistake of going for the boost over protecting the net. I complimented my opponents and got no response, so it's on to Game 3. Something I didn't expect to happen while being overly nice happened in Game 3. We lost by 10 points. This is because early on, my teammate gave up. When they scored their 4th goal in a row, I hit him with a nice one, but my teammate hit me with a... we still have over half the game left, but at this point my teammate is too discouraged to even think about winning the game. Later on, I can see he has completely given up. But hey, at least I got some recognition from my opponents. Well, kind of. So, since there was no chance of recovery, I sent out one last nice message to my opponents and threw up the white flag. So at the end of this experiment, what did we learn? Well, the question was, will being toxic make your teammates play worse? And will being nice make your teammates play better? From what I found, it looks like being toxic will actually make you play worse, and being nice really doesn't change how well your teammate does. So if there was really anything to take away from this video, I would say don't be toxic. Just focus on improving yourself. Don't worry about your teammates. Look at your mistakes and try to correct them, not your teammates. In the end, you're trying to improve your skill, not your teammates. So if you're going to be critical of anyone, criticize yourself and adjust accordingly. Have fun out there, guys, and may the Rocket League gods be with you.